They definitely heard that. And popping this stuff in the DAW is like a bit much. Alright. Deck tech time. Hold on. Give me a minute while Arena gets the blood out. Alright, the song we're gonna, or the deck we're gonna play today is called Ego Boga. Ego Boga. If you've ever played Banjo-Kazooie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And you'll understand why, because in the second game, there was like a whole Mayan-inspired level. And the whole Witch Doctor dude was kind of like, you know, Mayan-inspired too. Because the first game had like a Mayan-inspired level too. It's like the first level, and then like the first game was like the first level, and then it was like you had like a second level you could go back to. It was Mayan inspired. Anyways, this is Sovereign Okeinec Ahu. He is a legendary cat noble. He costs 4 mana, 2 and then 1 green and 1 white. He has Ward 2, meaning anything that targets him costs 2 more to cast if it's our opponent's stuff. Whenever he attacks, for each creature you control with power greater than that creature's base power, put a number of 1/1 counters on that creature equal to the difference. This guy's insane. He can make your guys big really, really fast. Let's go over the cards. Steadfast Unicorn. I never played this card before, but he's not terrible. He's a 1/2 for 1 that reads, creatures you control get 1+1+. And gain vigilance during the end of the turn. Activate only during your turn. So he helps satisfy the condition because that 1+1+ makes them have power greater than their base power. And then he starts putting counters on. Because once he puts a counter on one thing one time, he just starts snowballing. So, Authority of the Councils, this goes in every white deck. Your opponent's creatures come into play tapped, and you gain 1 life every time one comes in. As for Sentinel, this pretty much goes in every white list. He's a creature. He's like Rhystic Study, except on a body. Whenever your opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card unless that player pays X, where X is As for Sentinel's power. As for Sentinel gets better in like 1/1 counters lists or lists that make the creature bigger than it should be. Then printed. Fragmented Reality, this again goes into every white list. Exile target non-token artifact, creature, or enchantment. Its controller puts a random creature card with lesser mana value from their library onto the battlefield tapped. Hopeful Initiate, training. That means when he attacks with something that has greater power than him, he gets a 1/1 counter. Remove 2 1/1 counters from among creatures you control. Pop an artifact or enchantment. Paladin class, your spells your opponents cast during your turn cost 1 more to cast. This includes counter spells, instant sorcery. A little bit of protection is basically what that does. It's just a tidbit though. It's level 2 as you pay 3, so 2 and 1 white. Creatures you control get 1/1, and then it's level 3, which is you pay 4 and a white. Whenever you attack, until end of turn, target attacking creature gets 1/1 for each other attacking creature and gains double strike. So it's a win condition too, because that double strike they'll probably like destroy your opponent. Swords Plowshares. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. Unfair card. You play it in every white list. Hardened Scales. This goes in every 1/1 counters list. If 1 or more 1/1 counters would be put on a creature you control, you put an additional 1 on there. Shadow Spear. Quick creature gets 1/1 and has trample and lifelink. Permanents your opponent's control lose hexproof and indestructible, and then it equips for 2. The Ozolith, whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield with a counter, you put all the counters on the Ozolith, and then every time it's combat on your turn, you can shift all the counters onto a target creature. Judea, Font of Hope. This is my first list with this guy, and it's an Angel's Tribal. Gadia, Font of Hope. Flying Vigilance. Each other angel you control enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1+1/1+ counter for each angel you already control. We went over this, but it's +1/+1 for 1 angel, excluding herself. Well, actually, yeah, she counts herself. But if you have like 5 angels, it enters with 6/1 or 5 plus 1/1 counters. Then you can tap it for white, and then you can add that white mana and use it to cast Angels. Training: when Perish Blade trainee dies, put its counters on target creature you control. Cosmic Hunger: target creature you control deals its power equal to another creature, planeswalker, or battle. Golly Greeters: Alliance: whenever a creature you control enters the battlefield, you choose one, put a counter on him, 1/1 counter. Create a tap treasure token, you gain 2 life. Max Vandal: when he enters play, you can exile a creature from your graveyard and exile target artifact or enchantment. Exile is good because it doesn't go to the graveyard, and certain cards, like if they're indestructible, they can't be destroyed, but they can be exiled. So exile is a way to get around indestructible. That's one way to beat indestructible, is exile. Master's Rebuke does the same thing as Cosmic Hunger, except it doesn't target battles. Ozolus: the Shattered Spire. This is exactly the same as Hardened Scales, except you can pay 2 and put a 1/1 counter on target artifact or creature. You can only activate it as a sorcery, so when you have priority. Cycling means you pay 2, discard the card, and then draw a card. So you cycle it through. It cycles through your deck. Ram Through does the same thing as Cosmic Hunger and Master's Rebuke, Master's Rebuke, except if it has Trample, excess damage is dealt to the controller of that creature, which is good if it targets a creature. So it's literally just a better Master's Rebuke. Adeline: Resplendent Cathar. Vigilance: power is equal to all the creatures you control. Whenever you attack, you make a dude. It's a 1/1. That's tapped and attacking. Angel of the Eternal Dawn. This card counters ramp. It counters the day and night cycle too, but that rarely ever matters. But when it comes into play, it becomes day. It can't become night, and then it counters ramp by only letting people cast, or your opponents cast, spells that equal the amount of turns that they've had. So if they only have had 3 turns, they can only cast 3 or less, as an example. Lauren of the Third Path has Vigilance. When she enters battlefield, pops a target artifact or enchantment. You can tap her, and each you and an opponent draw a card. So she does give your opponent cards. Splendid Viewer. Hi Viewer, thank you for your time. Splendid Angel. This just came back into Standard. This is my first mythic I crafted 4 of in this game, fun fact. Flying. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance, so a Sarah's Angel, as you see right there, and then right next to the card. And then you can pay 6 mana, and it gives itself lifelink in 2/2, so it can activate its ability, like the end step ability by itself. Because usually it needs help, but if you have 6 mana, then it doesn't need help. Righteous Valkyrie. Whenever an angel or cleric enters battlefield in your control, gain life equal to that creature's toughness, and then if you have 7 or more life, each creature you control gets 2/2/2 attack and defense. Wedding Announcement. It's a anthem. Once it hits its 3 counters, so when you play it, it gives you, at the end of your turn, if you attack with your 2 creatures, you draw a card. If you don't attack with 2 creatures, you get a 1/1 creature instead. Ballgate Recovery. It's a green source tapped on the one side, returns target card from your graveyard to your hand. Note that it targets any card. Fight Rigging has Hideaway. So you play it, you look at the top 5 cards of your library, tuck one of them underneath it, and then if you put a 1/1 counter on target creature, then if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you can pay the exile cost play the exile card without paying its mana cost. That includes lands because it's a play effect. Kami of Whispered Hopes. If 1 or more counters would be put on a permanent you control, you put an additional 1 on it. And then you can add X of any 1 color, where X is its power. So if it gets big, it becomes like a huge source of mana. Clean a Territory. Enters battlefield tap, and then target creature fights another target creature. If they fight, they deal damage to each other. Look at Mina, Moon Druid. When you specialize her, you transform her into one of her animal forms. I'm not going to go over all of them. But when you cast her, she seeks a land and then puts it in your hand. Thrashing Brownelon, I was talking about this in one of my other YouTube videos. This is a really cool art. But he's a 3/4, sacrifice and pop an artifact or enchantment. Torrent's Fist of the Angels. Whenever you cast a creature, you create a 1/1 green and white human token with training. Training means that if they attack with a bigger creature, they get bigger, as long as it has more attack. Sword of Body and Mind. Equipped creature has 2/2 and protection from green and blue. Whenever it deals combat damage to player, you create a 2/2 wolf and then mill them by 10 cards. Mill means their cards go from their deck straight to the graveyard. Sword of Fire and Ice again has the 2/2, and then its protections are from red and blue. When it deals combat damage to a player, you get to shock something by deal 2 damage to it, and then you draw a card. Pretty decent. Swords of Forward and Frontier. Again, its protections are red and green. And then when it deals combat damage, exile the top 2 cards of the library. You may play those cards this turn. You can play an additional land, because you only play 1 land per turn. Normally, unless you break that. Unless a card says you can break that. Sword of Once in the Future is protection from blue and black. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, surveil 2, then you can cast an instant or sorcery from that for mana value 2 or less. We pretty much ignore the bottom part of that. We're only playing it for its stat buff and its protections. Helvar, God of Battle. Creatures that you control are enchanted or equipped have double strike. At the beginning of each combat, you can shift an artifact or an equipment or an aura onto a different creature, and then he can also be Sword of the Realms. Crypt creature has 2 attack and gains vigilance, and whenever the creature gets sent to the graveyard, and by not exiling, you can return it to its hand. Shy Voice of Plenty, flying. You, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control have hexproof, and she can put a 1/1 counter on things for 6 mana on your whole team. Stormhound Unleashed makes a bunch of angels. You can foretell it and then make even more angels. Beast Whisperer. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Guardian Project. If you cast a creature and there's not the same name in your graveyard, you draw a card. Questing Beast. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. Can't be blocked by power 2 or less. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented, and then whenever it deals combat damage, it can deal that much damage, or combat damage to a player. It can also deal that much damage to a planeswalker that they control. Cigar of Font of Blessings. Other permanents you control have hexproof. You can look at the top card of your library. You can cast Angels and Humans from the top of your library. Cleansing Nova. Choose one, destroy all creatures, destroy all artifacts. Elish Norn, Mother of Machines. If a permanent enters the battlefield on our side, it triggers twice. If a permanent enters the battlefield on your opponent's side, it doesn't trigger at all. We're playing her for the way she is a prison effect towards our opponent, not really for ourselves. Lyra Dawnbringer has flying, first strike, lifelink. Other angels you control get 1/1 and have lifelink. She's an angel lord, and she's just kind of good. She's really insurmountable against certain decks, and she's just a big menace, big flying bully. Rabble Rousing has Hideaway, same as Fight Ringing because they come from the same set. And then whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures, you create that many 1/1 white and green citizen tokens. And then if you have 10 or more creatures, you can play the card. Sunfall, exile all creatures. Incubate X, where X is the number of creatures exiled this way. Incubate X means you make this incubator token, and however many creatures you exiled is its size. So it can be a 7/7, or a 4/4, or 2/2, depending on how many creatures you got rid of. Froghemoth has Trample Haste. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you exile that many cards from their graveyard, and then you put a 1/1 counter on each creature, or put a 1/1 counter on it for each creature. Each other type of card that's not a creature, you gain 1 life. So it kind of does a little bit of both. Arming Gala, this is an arena only card. At the beginning of your end step, creatures you control and creatures in your hand and library and graveyard perpetually get 1/1. So they just keep getting bigger. Farewell, choose 1 or more, exile all artifacts, exile all creatures, exile all enchantments, exile all graveyards. Steel Seraph, this has prototype, so you can play it as a 3/3 for 3, which is actually almost better than playing it as a 5/4 for 6. At the beginning of combat in your turn, target creature you control gains your choice of flying, vigilance, or lifelink. There's an old angel that does that except for your whole team. I kind of wish we could get that card in here because it's a pretty sweet angel. Anyways, Valkyrie Harbinger. If you remember Resplendent Angel, this is kind of like the simplified version of it, and I'll explain why. Because she's got Flying and Lifelink, and then whenever you gain 4 life, she makes the same angel. So she can kind of do it herself. She doesn't need help to make the angels. It's basically a simplified version. Koga, you'll see this guy in pretty much every green list that I play. Enters battlefield, fights something, and then when he attacks, you destroy target artifact or enchantment. Or you pop it, excuse me. I don't really like to use the word destroy. Return target human you control to your owner's hand. Koga gains indestructible, so he can rescue a human, so you can reuse an ETB, and he can save himself with indestructible. Hornclex has trample haste. Whenever you put counters on a permanent, we put counters on a permanent, we double it. Whenever they put a counters on a permanent, they half it. Rounded down. Immortal Sun can't activate Planeswalker's abilities. Beginning our draw step, we draw an additional card. Spells cost 1 less. Creatures get 1/1/1. Sarah's Emissary, when it comes into play, you choose a card type, and then us and creatures we control get protections from those types of cards. So that can be instants, sorceries, planeswalkers, creatures, etc. You get the drift. Titan of Industry, Reach, Trample. When enters battlefield, choose 2. Destroy target artifact enchantment. Target player gains 5 life. Create a 4/4 green Rhino creature token, and then put a shield counter on a creature you control. Galta and Marvin. Whenever you attack, choose 1. Create a tapped and attacking XX green Dinosaur creature token with trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures, so it doesn't count herself. And then create X/1/1 vampire creature tokens, where it's the same stipulation. The other creatures. Avacyn makes our whole team and herself indestructible, so she's just a big flying bully, really hard to deal with. Undo aversion, pops all permanents. Great Hens that aren't lands, I should say. Great Henge, whenever we play creatures, we put a 1/1 counter and draw a card. It costs less if we have a big creature out, up to 7-, and then it can add 2 green and we gain 2 life. Galta is just a big dumb idiot. It's a 12/12 and costs X less, whereas X is the total power of creatures that we have, and it's got trample, and then it's a mana base. Great Henge is only counts 1 creature. I want to get this thing done though. I'm trying to keep those deck texts by like underneath 15 minutes. That one was a little bit longer, but I'm gonna try and speed up the process once we start playing a lot of the same cards. I'll try and speed up the process. Because I'm trying to always like make the videos that I upload like no more than pretty much 45 minutes. They can float a little bit above 45, but I don't want them to be much bigger than that. This commander is fun because you can play 1/1 counters with him, you can play equipments with him, you can play Aura, or you can even mix the 3 or mix the 2. Like he's got a lot of different ways he can be played. That's what I like about this guy. You can even play anthems with him too. Which anthems just make your creatures bigger. Like wedding announcement where it's like, oh, your creatures get an additional 1/1. That's what I'm talking about. We actually have the card in the game, but it's called Glorious Anthem. That's where that term comes from. So this guy, and he's got a little bit of protection too, so he's just fun. He's a little bit small for his mana cost of 3/4, but he's got work for it. And like I said, you'll see here that he steamrolls very quickly. Now this is the first iteration of the list because I kind of felt like playing Angels. Now you could definitely do better things. This list, if I were to change it, that's fine. They destroy that. Stop that. I mean, that word. But one thing I would add to the list because I have him at he was 109, 110, but he didn't have trample, so like this guy gets absolutely like him and your team, they get absolutely beat. Oh, I guess this chick gives him trample. Because we only go for the green here. I like to get this line later. Joda, this card's unfair. We'll probably lose this one because they got Joda the Unifier out. Because this guy's nuts, because he gets a free cast, like you'll want it. When you play a legendary, cascades for legendary. Every legendary cascades. So he's just like, I don't know, it's not fair. So we'll probably just end up losing. Pretend that we did it, because Joda's unfair. He's not a real commander, he's just an unfair card. He doesn't count as a Just don't, if you ever lose to Joda, don't feel bad because he's just not fair. Honestly. He's just a hodgepodge legendary list, and then, like, you just do unfair things with it. You basically need to remove him immediately, which we didn't have removal because this deck's not running too much removal. We're actually, like, trying to play the game ourselves. But... so technically we lost there, yes, but... it's Joda the Unifier, so don't ever count it as a honestly, it really isn't. Dr. Hot Dogs. It's pretty sweet. Misha's regular stuff. More so there because it counts as an artifact. Starting Pteranodon. Play that. Again, he has one sacrifice on top of artifact or enchantment. Now, it's not worth getting rid of this. This is one of the times where you wouldn't use his ability. This isn't worth it. They get a mountain and seize the spoils. They choose to use the spoils, which reads, as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, you draw 2 cards, and you make a turn. When it says it's an additional cost to cast, you have to do it as you cast the spell. It's a must. And you can't even technically cast the spell if you can't do that. Little food for thought for you though. These are some of the new games where they can discover 4, and each one of them does it. They all enter tap, they all add mana of any basic color, and then you can discover 4 and you activate it as a sorcery. Which is pretty cool. Fortunately we didn't get a white sword. That's fine though, if we can get the sword equipped to somebody, we'll be locked October. Cool fight in the summer because we're playing red. Here we go, opponent. Sometime this year, maybe. There they go. Like Bird. Bergie got a story to tell. Miss Bergie got a story to tell. Few times I told the story and they told me I am the god of storytelling. I am the god of storytelling. Few times I told the story and they told me to shut up, Bergie, because nobody's listening. I'm the god of storytelling. Yeah, I assume that they play as many cards as humanly possible. Bergie is one of those decks where whenever you cast a spell, you have one left. You basically just like play as many spells for free as possible. And then the boast effect, like that only matters if we're playing in Kaldheim, which we're not. The boast is the Kaldheim. You play her for this effect. You play her for this, and then as you can see, their deck. See how everything pretty much costs like 1 or 2 mana? So they essentially can play their deck forever. Until their turn ends. That's essentially what they're attempting to do. Unearth doesn't count as a cast. Send him. Yeah. 2 damage, we'll get rid of the Dragon Range Channeler. We do get a land, unfortunately, not a white source. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, this is probably what this deck is attempting to do. She can also be Harmful, Horn of Bounty, discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of the library. We may play those cards this turn. So she can kind of discard cards and peel through the deck. Most people don't play off of this side though, or at least what we're seeing here, they're not. Maybe some people do. You probably could, honestly. Like I said, this is a very versatile card. Anyways, they're gonna attempt to play the game, play like their entire deck. Because yeah, Grinning Ingress right there. They probably now, I'm pretty sure they have infinite mana. Grinning Angus, when it comes into play, it gives them 1 mana, and then you return it to its hand, and then you add 2 colorless and a red. These are what's called rich creatures. Killing Fiend, whenever you cast it in turn, he gets 3 attack until end turn. You'll see quite a few of these types of cards. Probably in this list, but we have about, I think 5 of these in the game. He's probably like one of the weaker ones because he doesn't get a keyword, but I think he gets like probably the greatest attack bonus. 3 attack. Because we got one that's got trample, but it's only like 2 attack. So Killing Fiend is just huge. Like he can get, this card's actually insane. He can get really, really big, really, really fast. They opt not to swing. They go to the end of the turn. They say your turn. Opt. Like sure thing. Go. Go ahead and play Sovereign. Get our Brontodon big. Remember, we have protection from red. We can't actually be blocked. We target the killing. See you later. Bye. See you next Tuesday. But yeah, Killing Fiend, like, you say something, viewer, I can show you some of the extras of those types of effects. If not, that's fine too. This only activates when you cast instant or sorceries. Basically, with this deck, if this card were to survive and stick around, they could probably get this thing, like, literally gigalithic, like 10 or, 13, 14, or 10 or 13 power. Cast about 4 instances of sorceries. Make the thing absolutely thermonuclear. Possibly winning the game on the spot. If this was a constructed list, you could very easily run 4 of these guys, and definitely make them your win condition. Because, like I said, we got a few of these in the game. But this one's good because he gains the most attack right away, as compared to the other ones. But also, okay, these are cats. They're about to get 3 mana here. These are cats. My finale of Devastation. I was waiting for them to get some mana. Anyways, they have 3 mana. Like I said, this list pretty much attempts to get her down and then go infinite. So that's what they're attempting to do. So we'll see if they get there. If they get there, they win the game on the spot. They can like constantly keep playing cards. Yeah. I mean, they may have done it. It's Storm Cop. Well, yeah, I guess it's okay. Oh, you can do it in your next turn. Later. Oh. Their turn ends because their little timer times out. Oh boy. Yeah. Hey, we got him. We got him. They have to block, so they have to recast their Fergie. Fergie, ain't no hollowing back, sure. And with this would did 2 damage anyway. We won! Yay, did it! Whoa. That was a pretty poor showing of the deck, but I know what that was attempting to do. If you draw correctly with it, you can win the game on the spot, because you can literally play your entire deck. But I didn't do that, so open a pack quick. I'll jump on to the next one. Cool. Intrepid Pantheologist. Add 1 mana. Our graveyard, cast dinosaur, creature spells. A finality counter. There's another type of counter. Wow. Means that it goes into exile instead. Walk with the ancestors. Has discovered 4. That's alright, I guess. Hi, second viewer. It is 3 mana, so it's not that great. Gonna jump straight into it. We are playing Iga Boga. If you ever played Banjo Kazooie, you know what I'm talking about. Iga Boga. Ooh. You remember the little tiki guy that gave you all the like magic powers? Oh, they left. Bye. Guybrush wood. Guybrush 3P wood. Here you go. Remember the old rare games? Where like people wouldn't actually use in a lot of animated ones. Hi back viewer. That's what I'm saying to you when I say that. Anyway, they're playing Urza Lord Protector. This card's pretty nuts. Artifact, instants, and sorcery spells you cast cost you 1 less to cast. See if I can actually talk sometimes. You can pay 7. If you control him and you control the Might Weak Stone, you can transform him into anything. Might Stone Weak Stone is an artifact, it's a mana rock. And then you can activate his abilities twice. Control costs 2 less to cast, gain 2 life, draw 2 cards, and discard a card. Create 2 1/1/6 colorless soldiers. Artifacts and planeswalkers you control gain indestructible, destroy all non-land permanents. This guy's insane. Pretty strong stuff, but he has to meld with the card, which is the Exile or the Might Weak Stone. If we're in the rare game, we would say but we're not, so we have to talk normal. That's slang. Go ahead and grab Okeinec there. Get this dude a counter, send him. Let's see how big this guy gets if he just like gets like another turn. Cause that's what I love. This guy gets like gigalith, like literally, he's absolutely massive, and he pumps everybody else too. So I'd say like maybe Anthems might be a really good way to go with him, simply for the fact that it affects your team right away without you having to pump too much mana into it. Because you got to keep that in mind. We're playing a little bit of Angel Tribal here, but it's probably not the most comfortable thing, but Red Hair don't care because I felt like playing Angel Tribal. I don't think they grabbed anything from that Demonic Tutor. Maybe they did. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. Alright, they grab, solve the equation. Search your library for an instant sorcery card, reveal it, put it in your hand. Obviously, they grab Swords and Plowshares because they're lame. I wish this card was like Neverland in this game. This card is freaking lame. This is the antithesis of fun. Like, you guys want to have fun today? Sure, let's play Swords and Plowshares. Oh boy. Man, you're so great. Don't worry. We got our own fun things. Unfun things, I should say. Look at us. You're not fun either. Splendid Angel. That's his name in Tibet. What do they got first? Urza Lord Protector. I protect. Guardian Idol. It's a mana dweeb. Bye, viewer. Thought Monitor. This card's pretty sweet. I'll go ahead and do this now. This is a bit reckless, but we kind of want to get my because once it sees that he's got 7 power, you can go ahead and play Okeinec. Because it's Azorius, and they got a lot of just unfun cards. It's just the way that Azorius is, though. He got for us Opt. You gonna block? That means hurry up with your turn into wet. Reconfigure. then they can play cards from their lands from their library. Reconfigure means you just equip it to the creature. You turn it from a creature into an equipment, because it's both, technically. Excuse me. Oh.
We are but motes in a vast multiverse.
You're a moat. Makes you want to say, hand over the moat.
Bathe in ghost fire.
Oh, we're gonna go ahead and, well, you know what, I want to get into damage, so. Get rid of the Ganthia Jones. You know, like Osmosis Jones? Because he makes things, so he's a... Oh,
Death comes for us all.
Oh, does it now? Oh, uh-oh. Probably gonna win the game here. Oh, no, they really probably actually will. So they're gonna flip into this lane. It's high scary. Making a dude. Thundercats are on the loose.
I will not falter.
Oh,
What secrets have we unearthed?
What have you unearthed, Urza? But you can use his effects twice. Oh,
Perfectly obedient, as all soldiers should be.
yeah. They're opulent. Obulent. O-B... O-A. C. D. Obedient. Come on. Well, they count it. Run. Oh, we're just not. I'm not gonna set that out. They got us. That's cool though. I'm not too worried about that. Do another, probably like 3 or 4 matches with this, then we'll switch decks. These gods are Chimley's children who walk among the Olek. Oltec. They are Oltec. We're underground. OG or pumping. Here you go, Boba. We don't know how to say nothing. Look at this. It's a lamb. It's a llama. This is actually pretty cool. When it attacks, it's a 3/3, and then it gives all your other creatures 1/1 until end of turn. It actually works out really well. If it's Tota. So this guy's pretty sweet. He has flying whenever you cast an instant spell from your hand, it gets rebound. That means you cast it for free next turn. That's pretty cool. And then whenever he gets removed without hitting the graveyard, I'm not going to say that word right there. Remember, we're not naughty. Turn it back to battlefield transformed under its only controls 3 time counters. So it turns into a land. And eventually you play our land, play our scales. You can double click. Now, what double click? They probably foretold counters. Saw it coming. Play with that dragon. Plays Kami as well. Your turn, Oha. Oha or Oha. The old multiverse. This card's pretty cool, actually. I don't play it too much personally, but I think it's good. I never play it, but it's actually good. Oha. Well, something's gotta take the counters, though. And Portel. Play this chick. Gonna slay. Submit 0 because it's up to 1, so it can be 0. We'll see what we have. Quick Study. That's a pretty cool card. Quick Study. It's a divination except it's instant. Yeah, I can see how problematic this god is here. So that's cool. Mystic Sanctuary puts that instant back on top of its library. Mana library. Time warp. They get another turn. Cool. They can't break that though, because they can't do sorceries, which is good. That would just be lame. Because I don't mind extra turn spells if you don't. If you have to break them, it's good. Pyro Amulet, excellent card. I play that card whole bunches. Peaches and oranges. I play it bunches. With peaches. That's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and specialize her. Actually, we're not gonna do that because she'll turn into that stupid bird and it's lame. So we're not gonna do that. It's not good. Send them on their way. Training. These will both Hardened Scales. I forgot about that. Forgot about you, Hardened Scales. You're a real pal. Go ahead and draw a card here. Gotta tell them to draw a card too. Yeah. Take your card. We lost her. But she was not in vain. Oh, that constantly does that? I have to get a few of these guys because I play when I decide to play some Constructed sometime, which I might play it in the next stream. I've been playing a lot of Brawl, and Constructed is you can play 4-ofs and stuff. I'll probably play some Brawl next time. So I do like playing, or not Brawl, Constructed. Because I do like playing Constructed. This is one of my pet cards. I play a lot of Primal Amulet. It's one of my favorite Magic cards ever. Oh, Murmuring Mystic. Oh, Akia! I got a discard. You're drawn to too many cards. Remember one of those days where you just like eat food and you feel like puking all day? I feel that all the time. know what? Actually, we'll just... Wait, I don't want to give to somebody. Got it. Primal Amulet, whenever you cast the sorcerers with it, as long as you tap mana from Primal Wellspring, it copies itself. Yeah, we'll send everybody. These guys are about... Yeah. Gotta block pretty much like a bunch of stuff. Pick your big. If I had my chuck, I would have lost. If I had my chuck done, this is a pretty cool card to bring. I love this card, Murmuring Mystic. I think this card's sweet. Like, I'd actually get like a big scroll in that card. If I had my chucks on, what a wow. Arwen, it's kind of like this guy. Except, this guy's cooler, but this guy's better. Imperial Craft, keep having the same things. Are you going to counter this? Probably could. That end. Well, if they bounce this, then we get one land, so go ahead. We got protection from blue. Baby Blue is the cobbler of that whale. Baby Blue, I'll see you in the mail. Okay, well, we take out all their tokens for 2 of our tokens. You know, in my life. This card, I always forget about this card. This card's pretty good. Get a little in my life. The rest can't hit anything because we don't have enough creatures. They have to hold up to this. They can't block. Need a little in my life. By them angels. This commander seems like... I mean, I want like probably like at least like 3 of this guy. Let's play him in a present. Ponder. Has protection from... Oh, what? Yate. Screw it. We'll just probably call it there. Got us. Could have probably gave those guys trample and stuff like that. I don't know. We probably would have lost though. Because they got ahead of us. It's power of copying spells. It is what it is. And the next one. So this will be the last one with this deck, and then we'll play something else. So what did you do? We got like 1 win and like 3 losses. Not terrible, I guess. Sometimes it just isn't our day. Play Once Upon a Time. They can play that for free if that ends up in your opening hand. This card made a huge stink when it was released. Because free spells are kind of attack with Esper Sentinel. They ain't gonna block anyways. You ever see creatures like this, 9 times out of 10 they're not gonna block. Unless they absolutely have to. Sure. Grant this, of course. Hopefully we get another land. Because if we do, then we're now we're in castle. Oh. Come on. Freaking kidding me? I swear. All we need is just one land. We're in super good shape. One freaking land is all we need. One. Of course we don't get it. Why would we? Is. Kind of forced to use our removal. Having land. Towards the end. Might be fine now. Make a dude, say go. You can play Galta. Probably gonna lose anyways, because now they got Galta down. It's too big. Yeah, we'll just call it here. We're gonna lose anyways, because missing those 2 land drops, that sealed the fate for us right there. We got Magic the Gathering, so that happens sometimes. I'm literally about to start just bumping my decks up to 42 rounds at least. I'll play one more. Try and get a good. I'm trying to get a good showing out of this deck because I had some off of stream today. Now things I would change with this list is I wouldn't make it Angel's Tribal. I just kind of felt like playing that. Audio like Flyer. I would definitely play literally as competitively as humanly possible because this commander is strong, so you're going to go up against all the competitive stuff. It's pretty much a must. Like this guy is probably like one of the strongest Azorius commanders in the game. Definitely in the top 3. This guy's absolutely cracked. Absolutely insane. They're probably holding up a counter spell, that's fine. Play Angel of the Eternal Dawn. We're gonna lose anything to counter spells like that. On this day, we sing Guardia. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. But like I said, if I were to change a few things around with this list, I would definitely... I think I might try a list of this where I play like some I don't know if I want to do anthems. Because anthems, we kind of need a lot of them so we find them right away, right? That's the problem, is we need to find it. Otherwise they're kind of cheap. The thing is that we'd have to run like 10 anthems. Which there probably isn't even 10 good anthems that are worth running anyways. Because anthems, the problem with anthems is they don't do anything by themselves. They're a lot like equipment auras, or enchantment auras or whatever. Where like they're only really good if you like completely break them open. That's when they're insane. We'll go ahead and do this. Instead. So we start getting counters on everybody. Because as you can see, this list can very quickly run away with the game. And these angels having flying, that's pretty good. You could actually make you could make an argument to play Cat's Tribal. Because then you get a little bit better anthem stuff. Like you get this Herald's Horn that makes it cost one less. There's like Icon of Ancestry. It's not a super great card, but I do like that card. It's got a soft spot. Personally. I mean, there's a few other things too. I might try him as equipment. The thing is if he was, it would be better if he was red. Red gets a lot of better equipment stuff. Yeah, you're gonna get rid of this here as a Redeemer. Good cam, got him. So like I said, there's quite a few ways you can go with that guy. Do I think Angel's Tribal is bad? Not really. I think we just kind of got unlucky here, so. Yeah, card's pretty underwhelming. I mean, it's an uncommon, so it's fair. Let me think of what I actually want to play. Hey, look at this deck. Once it gets the mud out. No, this is an Abzan list. We'll play this. This like seems like Abzan good stuff. Sure, we'll play this. Alright, Swords, Plowshares. You've seen it. You love it. You love to hate it. Awesome. Well, exile target creature. Its controller gains life. Equal to its power. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Can get 3/3 by paying 3 and Death Touch. Gains until end of turn at the beginning of your end step. Player lost 4 more life. This includes you. You put a 1/1 counter on him, so he's pretty sweet. Pilfering Imp, flying. He turns into a cherry pick discard spell. He actually acts as a cherry pick discard spell, but you have to do it as a sorcery and you have to tap him, so you can't attack with him usually. Unless you give him vigilance, which is kind of like a big hoop to jump through for no reason. But he's a cherry pick discard spell. Pick a non-land, your opponent discards it. Thoughtseize. Real hand, pick a non-land, they discard it, you lose 2 life. Kami Bamboo Grows, this is a little ramp, dude. When it enters battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped, and then a channel, which channel can't be countered. That's a good thing about channel. You can discard him, and you conjure 2 cards named Forest into your hand. So conjuring means they just get summoned into the game. He's obviously a digital only card. Agonizing Remorse, cherry pick discard again. They reveal their hand. You can pick a card from their hand or their graveyard and exile it. That's another good thing about exiling for newer players, if you're watching this, is exiling by it going into exile. More often than not, it can't be interacted with. There's only a very few cards that can interact with cards in exile. Once something's exiled, it's probably gone for the rest of the game. I kind of wish that they would make a black card that could return stuff that's exiled back to the graveyard. It'd be good for reanimator lists. Back to nature, destroy all enchantments. Excellent. Incubation druid. Add one mana of any type that a land you control could produce. And then if it has a 1/1 counter, you do that. You can add 3 mana instead. It has adapt 3, which puts 3 1/1 counters on it if it doesn't already have a counter. And you can do that for 5. Paradise Druid adds 1 mana of any color. It has hexproof as long as it's tapped or untapped. So you get to use it. It pretty much like guarantees you use it at least once. Terra Sunder. You've seen this card before. I play this card like it's my religion. Exiles target artifact or enchantment. If it's kicked, you exile target non-land permanent instead. Assassin's Trophy. Sink an opponent or destroy target permanent opponent controls. Its controller may search his library for basic land. So they get a land out of it. Find Finality. I felt like playing this card. Return up to 2 target cards from your graveyard to your hand. Finality, you put 2 1/1 counters on a creature you control, and then all creatures get 4/4. It's pretty good. I mean, Find Finality. Leon of the Veil. Each player discards a card. Target player sacrifices a creature. Separate all permanents into piles. Your opponent chooses one. They sacrifice the pile they choose. Midnight Reaper. Whenever one of your creatures gets sent to the graveyard, not exiled, he draws you a card. This is mostly not white, so this is mostly a Golgari list. Mythos of Nethroi. Destroy target non-land permanent. If it's a creature, or if Abzan, you pay Abzan to cast a spell, it actually hits any permanent that's not a land. If you don't pay it, then it's basically murder. Is what the name of the card's called. Playcrafter, when you play him, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, and each player who can't discards a card, so no matter what, he doesn't whiff. Soul Servitude. Target player sacrifices a non-token creature. When they do, you may discard a card. If you do, conjure a duplicate of the sacrificed creature into your hand. It perpetually gains. Mana of any type can be used to cast a spell. That's a arena-only card. Reclamation Stage, it pops an artifact or enchantment. Fashion Bronodon, you've seen him before. We played him just literally in the last list. Mortify, pops target artifact or target creature or enchantment, excuse me. Necropanther, whenever he mutates, return target creature card with 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Pretty sweet card. Grakmaw, he enters with 3 1/1 counters on it, and then when he gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard, create an XX black, green, and green Hydra token where X is the number of 1/1 counters on him. Maelstrom Pulse, destroy target non-land permanent, and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. Putrefy, it's the same as Mortify, except it hits artifacts and creatures instead. Mortify, or Knight of Autumn, well, it's costed differently. It's green and black instead of white and black. Knight of Autumn, this is one of my favorite cards ever. When it enters battlefield, you choose one. You put 2 1/1 counters on it. Pops the target artifact or enchantment. You gain 4 life. I just like that card. It's just one of my favorite cards. Cub Warden, this card's pretty sweet. You'll really only play him in mutate lists though. It's got mutate, lifelink. Whenever this creature mutates, create 2 1/1 cat white creature tokens with lifelink. Eventually, again, I should play this Nethroi list, except try and make him Cat's Tribal because he's pretty fun. Batara, Dark Destroyer. Batara. This is the Godzilla version of the card. Mutates for 6, flash, flying. Whenever he mutates, you pop it a target creature or planeswalker. Pop it means you send it to the graveyard. We're not going to use that other word. We're going to start trying to use the word pop. So when I say pop, you know what I mean. Flash, flying, enters tapped. Cast it from the graveyard if a creature gets sent to the graveyard that turn. 2 more Exarch, choose 1. Turn target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Target opponent reveals their hand, choose a non-creature card, and then they discard that. Extinction event. A lot of our creatures, if you notice, they have pretty low power, and it's because of our commander. I guess I forgot to do our commander. Biolante Plant Beast form. This is the Godzilla version of this card as well. This is my old favorite commander, Nethroi, Apex of Death. So what this commander does, he's got Mutate. You can pay 4, 1 green or white, and 2 black. Has to be 2 black. Has Death Touch Lifelink for 5/5, so he's pretty good on cast, like on 5, because you can play him for 5 as a Death Touch Lifelink 5/5, which is pretty decent. But when he mutates, return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now, the next time I play this guy, I'm going to play like a really optimal version of this list. So we're going to do infinite combos and we're going to do unfair things. So stay tuned for that. Insatiable Hemophage, mutate, has Death Touch. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where the X is the number of times he mutates. This is basically here because his mutate is really cheap and it can re-trigger Nethroi. That's the only reason we play this guy, otherwise he's really not exciting at all. Liliana, Wake of the Dead. Each player discards a card, each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Target creature gets X-X, which is removal if it gets small enough, because if a creature has 0 toughness, it gets sent to the graveyard immediately because it can't exist. This is another way to get around indestructible, because you get its stats so low that it can't exist on the board, so it has to get sent to the graveyard. Where X is the number of cards in your graveyard, and then you get an emblem at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control against haste. Like I said, this list is a bit suboptimal, because like this Planeswalker is a bit weak, but well, I'll make a more optimal version eventually again. Because I actually used to play this guy back in the day when Brawl came out, and I'm pretty sure that's why Wizards put like so many graveyard hate cards in the game, because so many of their employees played against that deck. And I used to play Eerie Ultimatum and literally cast like 200 mana worth of stuff for 7 mana. I don't know if Eerie Ultimatum's in this list. It probably is. But I'll play a really, really optimal version of the list. Like, I'm going to sit there and take like about like 2 months to tailor it, because that's why that list was so good, is because it countered the meta. Like, I literally spent probably about 2 or 3 months building the deck. And I'm not talking about crafting cards and waiting for wild cards. I'm talking about data analysis, playing against the meta, putting the best cards in the slots, and like, I really actually thought with the list a lot. Anyways, back to it. Put a 1/1 counter on target level 1 target creature. That creature becomes an artifact in addition to its other types. Awesome. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. Excellent. Exile opponent's graveyards. Sweet. Rankle, Master of Planks, Flying Haste. When he deals combat damage to a player, you choose any number. Each player discards a card. Each player loses 1 life and draws a card. Each player sacrifices a creature. Ritual of Soot. Sink all creatures with mana value 3 or less. Anguirus Armored Killer. I should probably not say that word either. Anguirus Armored. Mutate. Reach Trample. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment and opponent controls. Sink it. Gotta quit using that word. Whenever this creature mutates, search your library for a basic land card, put it in the battlefield, tap, shuffle. Silica Bellhaunt. This card's just kind of an old favorite of mine. He's just really cool, so I decided to play him. It comes into play. Each opponent discards a card. You gain 3 life. I mean, he's still kind of good, but he's just really hard to cast because he's 2 white and 2 black. So you don't really want him in a 3-colored list. Finding the Old Gods. Destroy target non-land permanent opponent controls. Search your library for a forest card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. Creatures you control gain Death Touch. Boneyard Lurker. Whenever this mutates, you return a permanent from your graveyard to your hand. Mortality Spear. Costs 2 less if you gain life. Pop target non-land permanent. Polykranos Unchained. Enters battlefield with 6 1/1 counters. It escapes with 12 on it instead. Damage will be dealt to him while he has 1/1 counters. You instead remove 1/1 counters from him and you prevent that damage. So he does get smaller, but that's good against lifelink and death touch. That's mainly what that ability stops. It's the big thing that it stops. And then you can pay 3, he fights creatures, and then you can escape him for 6 mana and 6 other cards. Vraska Golgari Queen, sacrifice permanent. If you do, gain 1 life, draw a card. Pop, target non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less. -9, get an emblem whenever a creature you control deals damage to a player, that player loses the game. This card's excellent. I mean, it's like one of my favorite planeswalkers ever. I always try and race to run this card usually. I kind of forget about her at times, but she's definitely one of my favorite just cards ever. Because her -3, back when the Oka meta was insane, or Oka was running around, that card is just completely unfair. She was good against him. Conclave Flair, again, I just kind of felt like playing this. Card's not that great either. Vigilance, when it gets sunk, create 2 green-white elf creature tokens with Vigilance. It's good, it's a value engine, but it's just so hard to cast. That's the problem with it. Cavalier Dawn enters battlefield, pop up to 1 target non-land permanent. Its controller gets a 3/3 artifact, colors Golem artifact creature token. So that'd be called Generous Gift, is that ability's name. So it's a Generous Gift effect. And then when he gets popped and sent to the graveyard, return target artifact or enchantment card. Cleansing Nova, choose 1, pop all creatures, pop all artifacts and enchantments. Junji, the Midnight Sky, Flying Menace, when he gets popped and sent to the graveyard, choose 2. Each opponent discards 2 cards, loses 2 life. Put target non-dragon creature card onto your graveyard to the battlefield, you lose 2. Cruelty of Gix, this card's not really that great. I'd probably just rather play, if you're going to play one or the other, just play Eldest Reborn. They reveal their hand, choose a creature or planeswalker, discard it. Search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, and then shuffle, you lose 3 life. I mean, I'd probably play this in the most optimal version of this, because it's going to involve infinite combos and it's got a tutor. And then put target creature card from a graveyard under the battlefield under your control. Eldest Reborn, each opponent sacrifices a creature planeswalker, each opponent discards a card, put target creature or planeswalker from a graveyard onto the battlefield. So includes your opponent's stuff. Flying, ward, discard a card, so if they target it, they gotta discard a card. If they can't target it, or the spell fizzles, rather. Whenever he deals damage, combat damage to a player, he gets that many 1/1 counters. So this guy kind of wins the game by himself, because if he gets in one time, he becomes an 8/8, and then so on and so forth. So he just gets huge. Dismisses Starrix. Card's insane. Whenever he mutates, exiles top cards from your library until you exile X permanents. Or X is the number of times this creature is mutated. Put all those permanents on the battlefield. Excellent card. Probably the strongest mutator in a nutshell, as far as his mutate ability is concerned. Iron Scale Hydra, if combat damage would be dealt to him, you just prevent that and put a 1/1 counter on him. So he's just a big bully. He can't be removed via combat damage. He's got to be removed via removal. Vivian Reed, this is my favorite planeswalker. Look at the top 4 cards, pick a creature or land, put it in your hand. Pop target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. This is called Broken Wings, is the name of that effect. And then you get an emblem. Creatures you control have 2/2 and have vigilance, trample, and indestructible. Kaya the Inexorable, this card is absolutely insane. You put a ghost form on counter on up to 1 target creature, non-token creature. It gains when it gets popped and sent to the graveyard. You instead return it to its hand and leave behind a 1/1 spirit. She can exile target non-land permanent. And then you get an emblem at the beginning of your upkeep. You may cast a legendary spell from your hand, your graveyard, or amongst cards you own in exile, while paying its mana cost. Her ultimate's interesting because it interacts with exile. It's one of the few ones that does. Underrealm Lich, this guy is just awesome in this deck. He actually was in the original version of this deck, but like I said, I'm going to try and bring it back to its former glory. If you would draw a card, instead look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them in hand, put the rest in your graveyard. You can pay 4 life. He gains indestructible and tap him. His replacement effect for drawing cards can stop you from milling yourself. If you have his replacement effect out, you don't lose the game when you draw from an empty deck. Keep that in mind. That's part of what makes him good. Fall the Thrawn. Destroy all lands. Or pop all lands, I should say. Each player returns 2 land cards from their graveyard to the battlefield. Again, we're playing a pretty fair version, but we could get mean with it if we wanted to. Choose one or more. Exile all artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and graveyards. Farewell. If it's white, you play this card, period. It's just the way that it is. Sawtooth Demolisher. This is Beast Within. Whenever it mutates, destroy target non-creature permanent, or excuse me, pop it. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast token. Casualties of war. Pop artifact, pop creature, pop enchantment, pop land, pop planeswalker. This card's insane if it's like 3 or more. Once you're able to pick 3 or more, it's insane. Brute Curse Huntsman, create 2 black and green wolf creature tokens with whenever this creature gets popped and sent to the graveyard, which it doesn't because it's a token, but if it were to be not exiled and not bounced back to the hand, put a loyalty counter on each Garruk you control. This includes other types of Garuks. Pop a target creature, draw a card. You get an emblem. Creature you control have 3/3 and have trample. Pretty good planeswalker. Vraska Welk Seeker. 2/2 black pirate creature token with menace. Pop target artifact, creature, and enchantment. Create a treasure token. Target player's life total becomes 1. Ugin the Ineffable. He makes creatures, makes 2/2s. You exile the top card of your library. When the 2/2 leaves, the exile card comes into your hand, and then he can pop target permanent. That's 1 or more colors. Eerie Ultimatum. This is the star of the show. This card's one of my favorite cards. Like probably like literally my favorite Magic card. My favorite win condition is this card. Return any number of permanent cards with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield. But I literally can cast your deck. You only got a mana base. Got Agadeem's Awakening, but I've went over that in like the past like 7 videos. So as long as you've been watching with some consistency, you know what Agadeem's Awakening does. Like I said, this isn't... I haven't played this list in a while, so I don't know how well it's going to do. But I'll show you like an infinite combo variant. And I'll show you a few other variants of this list, like playing it as like optimally as possible. Because I was intimate with this commander for probably at least like 3 months straight. Like that's all I ever played with this commander. So. Playing Brutavak, that means they're playing Mill. This deck has a lot of infinite conditions. Because you play Brutavak and then you play Landing, Tackle Fanny, or cut your losses. And that wins you the game on the spot because you know half the deck. Half times 2 is equal. Plus, of course, well, they both round down. So if you had 77 cards in your deck, if you have an odd number, you'll be left with 1. But take a look, see what they got going on. Fleet Sour is another one. If they attack with this, we lose. Get rid of the Perfected Mind for now. But yeah, if they attack with Fleet Swallower, you don't see this card too much, but this card's from the old Ixalan set. Big Fish. Whenever he attacks, target player moves half of the library. Which is actually rounded up, so this legitimately wins this guy, no matter even if we're at an odd mana. Crush Sweep. Don't see it all that often, but it's really fun card. Puts a counter on their thing. We're going to go ahead and trade this card again. Take a look-see, take a look-see. Seems like the most optimal thing to take. That Paradise Druid on for damage. Raise them for the damage. Hey, eventually we'll get a land. I don't know, sometime this year maybe. Because it is Abzan. You can play it as a commander a lot of ways. He has 3 colors. You know, I'm fine with that. Please do. Thank you. 2 lands. Let's go. Legolas. If you look at the top card of your library, if it's a creature, he can turn into that creature. Except it has flying. It's actually pretty sweet.
I've lost so much already. I won't. No one knows the wilds like I do.
I grab some. Something. And then.
Not bad for a mouse.
I had to play through some of those counter spells because you get one good mutate off with Violante. We're cooking with gas. We're swimming in gravy and cooking with gas. But we'll see what they have. Have a land. Have a land, have a land. No, please come back. Oh, good. And rankle their direction. Okay, good. That's good. We'll see why here in a moment. We would pretty much have to do this. We don't want any flyers coming through. There's two of them. Because unfortunately it tapped our creature down. Oh yeah, they do win. Because we had even cards. Like I said, if they have Brutavok out and they play one of those cards, they win the game on the spot. If we would have had one more turn, we could have just played the Necromancer and then never drew a card again. And we would have been fine. But we didn't, so. It's really only a matter of time with those types of lists. If Brutavok's out, he just wins the game against you, and it's not really that big of a deal. Like I said, this isn't the most optimal version of this list, but I will play a very optimal version of this list. This was me holding back when I made this list. This deck is very hold-back-ish. There's a lot of hold-back-ish cards. There's quite a few infinite combos you can play. My Maelstrom Hall's vampire. No! I'll have to try this card sometime. It's a new life game. This is a green source we can play Capital. That was probably a life quit. Probably a life quit, but we'll take it. They probably got Magic the Gathering. They got mana. Yeah, they got Magic the Gathering, or they had a life quit. The game is still relatively young. Eventually, once we get that commander, that one that we were playing, I'm gonna play that commander. Type 1 Taylor. Type 1 diabetes. Please, sir, the dog has diabetes. I think these driving lands are sweet, actually. If you're a free-to-play player, I think these are some of the first things you should pick up. Because you can pick whatever color you need out of them. That's what I think that's what's good for. Because you can add black, like there's all thriving whatever. Like this one's thriving grove and this is the green one. And we pick white. We got 2 greens in hand. Actually, I should have probably picked black. I keep forgetting that this one has more black. Message in a bottle. Insatiable hemophage. Yeah, this new Planeswalker seems really smooth. Really wouldn't mind playing it. Obviously they remove it because they have Swords and Plowshares. Why? Why would they not? I freaking hate that card. I hate that card so freaking much, dude. I really do. Which was never in this game. I'm not kidding either. Now this Ragnarok keeps getting in. It's just so stupid. All these cards that are like 1 and 2 mana. Like, why are they so good? Set him up so much out of hand. So stupid. All those 1 mana cards are just way too freaking good. They're all just dumb. Every single one of them. They could just go and never be. I'd never see them again. Literally never play this game again. in my entire life. And I still would never miss Swords of Plowshares, and Ragavan, and all these other 1-mana cards that are just way too freaking good. Okay, got an opponent. We're just gonna go on to the next one. Because that's the problem with the commander, is it is a strong commander, so you're going to go up against all the optimal stuff. You really have no choice but to play all the optimal stuff, which, I mean, I guess you can, and then, or you can not, and then you can just lose. Them down by 1 turn. Big rack. Oh boy, Plowshare, yep. Because that's purposely why I didn't run that in this list. Swords of Plowshares, because I was so sick of seeing that card. Because like I said, I could never see that card again, and I honestly would never miss it. I think it's so freaking overpowered, and it's so polarizing, because it's literally... Oh hey, Swords of Plowshares, by the way, you just play this card. Just play Swords Plowshares. Just play Swords Plowshares. Every white deck plays Swords Plowshares. It's just stupid. It's lame. It's not fun. It's just the same card you see every freaking white deck plays it. It's not fun. It's always the same. Every deck plays Swords Plowshares. Period. That's all you ever see. Oh, Swords Plowshares. Every single game of Magic, you see it. Every one, and it's not fun anymore at all. And all these other just overpowered cards, man. I wish they'd take them a little bit more serious.
If I get out of my way,
or something, so you don't have to
race
play
me off
cards
death
every single game, because they're just lame. They aren't fun. They aren't strong. They're just, everybody plays them because they're brain dead. Like, oh, Swords Plowshares.
I am
And
exhausted.
they're honestly just lame. I'd like to be able to play a game of Magic where my creature exists longer than 1 second. Because it doesn't have some form of protection. They get rid of hexproof in the game. And it's like, why? Not just keep hexproof. If we're going to have Swords of Plowshares, no wonder we have hexproof.
Death is inevitable.
Hold that thought.
Every single card that you have, now you have 8 billion lands. I'm playing some jank. I'm losing the game.
You know what?
Everything has to be best in slot, otherwise you can't play the game. I don't even know why I play this game half the time anymore. I'm so freaking sick of it. I'm so sick of playing just best in slot decks. It's not even fun. Because every deck looks the exact same. I'm not kidding. I'll have to just quit playing this game. Because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of best in slot decks. I'm tired of people pretending like they're good at the game. Because I play these suboptimal decks and then, oh, can't play anything even remotely suboptimal. Can't play a Power 5 because I'm sick of seeing the same cards, the same artwork, the same things every single game. Can't play a Power 5, no. Gotta play a Power 9, Power 8. Every cookie cutter deck. Every deck looks the exact same. Gotta play every single deck because it's the exact same. Can't play anything fun. No. Gotta play the same stuff, the same 5 cards that you see every single game in this game. It's not even fun anymore. Honestly, it really honestly isn't. It's not even fun. We need a ban list or something because this stuff is not even fun. Literally the same 5 cards that you see every single game of Magic. Every time I open this app, I see these 5 cards every freaking day. Like 15 times a day. It's like, why do I even bother to play this game? It's literally always the same cards. It's not even fun. It's not even like the cards are just overpowered. They're just the best cards, period. In every single game you see them. Put Fragment Reality in this list too. Turn everything into 1 and 2 mana. I really get tired of that though. I get tired of seeing the cards. I get tired of playing a white because I have to play this. So I try and play Dimir because I don't like any of the other 2 color combinations. Then I gotta play this. No skill card. Every game I have to see it. That requires 0 skill. This goes straight in the list. You don't even need to look. Every time it opens a deck, if it's white, it might as well just have Swords of Plowshare, Fragment Reality, and Esper Sentinel. Just straight in the list. Don't even change it. Just gray them out. You can't even remove them. I'm sorry, viewer. I'm getting mad. Because even when I play this card, I'm sick of it. I wish this card was never printed.
I will defend my
left this card out of the game.
How convenient. An excellent
Half of
choice.
these cards, man, like, I wish they would have just left them out. You don't actually... I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, why? Why does every single card have to be... Every single one of them, it's just always the same thing. Like, it would be nice to actually play a game of Magic.
There are
one
greater
time,
battles to fight.
just once a week, where we have some sort of ban list. No Swords of Plowshares. No 1 or 2 mana hyper efficient creature or card. Or any sort of hyper efficient cards. Play something that's even like Drakma. Something that's just like, it's a fair Magic card. Yeah, maybe he has 2 lives, but he isn't crazy overpowered. He isn't the same 15 cards that you see every freaking game. It never changes. Like, that's part of the reason why I made this list suboptimal. At least I get to look some different art every once in a while. Send him. Deal 3. There you go. Fall behind, viewer. Shares a Lella because, you know, you have to play it. And Esper Sentinel follows right behind it. No attack. Bitter Blossom. I haven't subscribed to this card yet, but I probably should. Guy basically gets 2 lives is basically what his effect is. Like whatever amount of counters you have, if he gets destroyed, he just throws into another arena. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. reveal before us. Started revealing anyway. Pay the 2 for that. A 1-1 counter on him. Go attack. Turning him into an artifact.
You're still one step behind.
Profane Procession. This card's sweet. I love seeing this card. You don't see it that often because it's like optimal, but it's good. I'll never say this card's bad. Profane Procession's really good in my opinion, but again, it's suboptimal. It costs more than like 2 mana.
I didn't go through hell to lose to you. Get that out of here.
Send him after Tezzeret. Block with the inch point. There you go.
I know how this ends.
Yeah, this card's sweet though. I'm super glad to see the Tezzeret. Because this Tezzeret's cool. You don't see him anymore, but even in Historic. It's because Historic's crazy fast too. That's why I float around Platinum. I don't even like being in Diamond and Mythic because it's always like the most optimal cards. Cards combos with a ham sandwich are at like, the card is like, the deck is either like burn rubber fast,
Let's do this
block
again.
type of stuff, or it's just like same cards you've seen before, or you've seen the deck 50 billion times. Planeswalker, land, enchantment, creature, artifact. Artifact, creature, enchantment, land, planeswalker. Oh, that was the
We
5
will
for 1.
meet again. Looks like you weren't fit to survive.
On center, 4/4. Down to 6. This game we might win, possibly. They are playing Alela though. To be fair, you really gotta kind of go all in on this shit. Can you imagine if your forehead was like this? Show up to the party with that kind of forehead. It's like, sir, I am the forehead.
I'm done with you.
Let's dodge Cam, forehead.
seeds of disaster. Truth lies beyond vision. Another time, Planeswalker.
I gotta build a deck around this guy. They must be lagging, because they're starting to get the game back into their favor. Like I said, I'll really put my nose to the grindstone and think of a good Abzan list with this guy, because I don't want to play the Thalia. I really don't like the Thalia. Again, she's kind of like Itali Primal Conqueror to me, because eventually I'll play like the more optimal list where you play all the good stuff. That's not yet to play. I think they just quit because of their lag issues. You'll have to go through the list though and cut out those swear words. Dang. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and call it right here, viewer. You have a wonderful day. Stay safe out.